Fugitive house unit located. Repair isolator.
I hope you've got a permit for that.
You're an Imperial regulator.
Yes, and there's plenty here to regulate. For starters, you don't have jurisdiction here. So why you're using a Class 7 enforcement field around this city bothers me a lot. More importantly, this temporal isolator is an outlawed piece of kit. Radiation leakage and civilian casualties. Designed to freeze time but causes horrific collateral damage to anything and anyone that gets in its path. Horrible thing.
Hey, you're not using that thing here, pal, so consider your rhino backside imperially regulated. Sounded tough from you, Ed.
Fugitive is highly dangerous. Precautions must be taken.
Not that weapon. Not here. Humans will die, and you, Captain, will have racked up enough violations to ensure that your troop never get hired again. Look at you. And your platoon of Judoon near that lagoon. More of a canal? Where's your pride? Where's your respect for the rules? I'm very disappointed in you. So we will take over from here.
Negative. Mission must be fulfilled by the contracted troop. Judoon Engagement Article 163B.
That article is overridden by local Earth Law 12, which clearly states that any potential arrestee is entitled to arbitration with a third party. Isn't that correct? Liaison Officer Khan. Absolutely correct, 100%. Rule 12. Massive Imperial regulation. So you will give us the time to go in there and arbitrate. That weapon will not need to be used. Clear? Come on. We can sort this woman to woman. Give me 10 Earth minutes and we can have this resolved for you.
5 minutes.
9.
4.
Fine. I'll take 5. Hate it when they do that. We'd best take the lift. Hang on, where's Graham?
I don't know.
Have you lost him?
He's not my responsibility. He's always a few steps behind. I'll stop checking.
4 minutes 30.
We haven't started yet. Come on.
Don't move. Seriously, not a muscle. Working on the movement sensors. If you even flinch, it'll set off the laser spikes. Trust me, they get everywhere. By the way, looking good.
Who is this? What's going on? Where am I? Where are you?
Neutralized. Coming to join you. You can get excited now.
You missed me, right?
Still cheeky. Regeneration can't change that. Gotta say, loving the gray at the temporal. Kind of distinguished, but still sexy. Oh, come here.
Oh dear. Well, of course we've got the return of Captain Jack here, haven't we? In Fugitive of the Judoon. And he obviously thinks that Graham is the Doctor. Why he was in this episode, I can't actually recall at all. It seemed, I remember thinking at the time, was he sort of, really necessary for the plot? But perhaps there was some crucial detail that I've forgotten. Anyway, nice to see John Barrowman back there. Of course, he'd first appeared with the 10th Doctor and Martha, hadn't he? In another Judoon story, or maybe... No, sorry. It was the Judoon that had appeared with the Doctor and Martha, the 10th Doctor and Martha. Apologies. Captain Jack, of course, harks right back to the very first series of the new Doctor Who. And this episode was rather important for a number of reasons, not just the return of Captain Jack. There was a character in it called Ruth. There was a lady in it called Ruth, who I think is the fugitive of the Judoon, and they're after her. Hence all that, gobbledygook between the Doctor and presumably the female Judoon commander at the start of that clip. And Ruth becomes rather integral to the whole season, and one might argue the entire history of Doctor Who, because of course, I believe that maybe at the end of the episode it's revealed that she is actually the Doctor. Yeah, I can't quite fathom it out or get my head around it, but yes, she is presumably a past incarnation of the Doctor, or possibly a future incarnation of the Doctor. I don't think it's quite made clear, certainly at this point. But yes, I remember there was a lot to enjoy in this episode, and it sort of kept you on your toes in more ways than one. I always quite liked the Judoon. I can't remember if it was maybe their second or third appearance. They might have had a few short sort of cameo roles as well in other stories, but I always thought they were quite effective. Sort of reminded me slightly of the Sontarans with their helmets on, but really great sort of animatronics or whatever it is for the face of the Judoon. Really effective. On why Graham was transported to Captain Jack's ship, I can't quite remember that. Perhaps that was something to do with the Judoon. I'd have to rewatch that little bit. But yes, as I say, arguably one of the most important stories in the history of Doctor Who.